Got that botnet working hard for you
got
tonight?
that botnet working hard. How do you think I'm getting most of my views?
I know. Hey, I see us. YouTube's cooperating tonight. Look at that. Awesome. And we're 3 minutes early.
Oh, shut up. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 161, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night or hitting us on the replay in podcast form on Anchor FM or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen or listened to the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, news, entertainment, usually some Star Trek. This is a family-friendly show in both language and content. However, do be aware that we are drinking alcohol on the show. If you are drinking along with us, you're more than welcome to let us know in the chat, and we will give some early show shoutouts as we go along. All super chats are read on the air so long as they meet our family-friendly criteria. And if you want to join the super secret chat and the even more super secret after show, think about joining the Patreon or the float plane. Links are down in the video description. It'll get you onto the Discord server and get you both of them. Welcome to the show.
You did that like in 2 breaths.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. It's weird, but I've been practicing that intro because I was tired of like stumbling over it. And it's gotten to the point where I can throw other words into it as well.
Yeah.
I think I've talked about this once before. A lot of people accuse me of scripting all of my videos. I did script all of my videos at one point, but the way I shoot a video is I'll say the same line 9 times until it sounds right and I have the right cadence and the right inflections and whatnot, and that's my cut. It's not that I've scripted it, it's just I've said it the same, I've said the same words 9 times in a row.
Yeah.
Trying to find the one that I want to fit what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, sometimes the flow of just doing it, you actually get better dialogue than having to sit there and think and type it all out and in your head.
And then change it once you're on camera anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So might as well just like, oh, it's a free flowing, and your movement and aneurysms and pitch and everything.
My aneurysms.
Mannerisms.
Do you know something I don't?
My head. Oh my god, my head.
Oh man.
Well, I mean that you are a YouTuber, so the frustration.
Yeah.
So, but everything's always more flowy and relaxed once you get used to that.
Right. And, after 159 or 160 of these and then another 150 or so video uploads, gosh, no, I think I'm actually close to 200 now. I think total upload, I have 325 videos,
Jeez.
Which is live show and standalone episode combined. You'd think I'd start to get a flow to this down, but
well, I mean, you're drinking alcohol, so I was like,
it's a reason why I can get all the words out.
I know.
Sometimes.
Well, things I have we ever gone back and looked at like old episodes and we're like, wow, we were stupid.
Yeah, how this show ever got off the ground, I have no idea.
I don't know why people even watched us back then.
Yeah.
It was like any of us, especially like I think it was like the first time all of us were on camera at once.
That was awful.
That was horrible. We were just yapping over everyone. It was like a pack of dogs just trying to, who's the loudest?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we treated that show as if we were just sitting around drinking beer with each other. And in that case, whoever's loudest gets to win. Holy crap. Cyberpunk is actually out. Yeah, I actually played it for 90 minutes already. So that's going to come at the end of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about it. So John has not had the opportunity to play it. I have. So you'll get, I guess, that perspective on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it has been actually a very, very long day. I am in dire need/want of a drink. John, what are you drinking?
I picked out a Great Notion today, actually.
Oh.
I have a Great Notion pink lemonade.
Nice.
So a tart ale with Meyer lemons and strawberry. So.
Cool. Well, let me step away real quick, and I'm going to grab mine.
Okay. Is it going to be like a big bourbon barrel aged?
Yeah. You'd think I'd remember to minimize this little mini window. Gosh, I hate that Zoom does that in full screen. Anyway, it's all yours.
All right. Jeff will probably end up complaining that there's still a little left. Ooh. I don't really smell like strawberry in this pink lemonade, even though pink lemonade doesn't have strawberries. Ooh. But yeah, you got strawberry in the flavor, tart. It is like strawberry lemonade beer.
Only your can is in focus, John.
That's all they want. Oh, they just look at my cans.
Right. Speaking of family show and demonetization.
No. I have two.
Okay. Look at his cans then.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I actually have 4 beers to choose from tonight. I'll probably only get to 2 of them, but I wanted to kind of float these out here and see what people wanted me to open. And one of them is going to depend on whether or not people want me to make you cry. Okay. So we'll start with, I got the Full Sail Wreck the Halls.
Okay, that's fine.
Which is, yeah, it's good.
Fine.
I've got a Sierra Nevada Celebration, which is their fresh hop winter ale. It's pretty darn good. I do have a Narwhal 2020 with me.
I also have one.
Yep.
So
this is my second 6-pack of the year, actually. I snagged a second one the other week.
Oh, you bastard. You are a horrible, horrible man.
I know I am.
That is a horrible, horrible thing.
It's already coming in. Make John cry.
I hate you.
They had one on the shelf. One.
Was it West Side?
It was West Side.
Yeah.
They got one case of it in, and I got one of 12 bottles. So,
Yep. I hate you so much.
For those who don't know, Bourbon County Stout, we've talked about it a number of times. It's an annual stout released by Goose Island. The Bourbon County series is their experimental series, their barrel-aged stuff. They're very, very high-end. Their standard stout is about $13 or $14 usually for a bottle. Then they have their specialty ones, which run between $25 and $30. And those are like the super experimental high-end flavors kind of thing.
Yeah, the weird offs.
Right. This year is going to be weird because they significantly reduced their distribution of the Bourbon County Stouts.
Hugely significantly.
Right. There are places near us that we could literally buy it year-round because people would get it in by the pallet. They'd get a pallet of this beer, maybe even 2 of them. This year, those same people are getting a 12-pack.
Yep. That's exactly right. I mean,
and I'm not exaggerating that.
No,
a 12-pack.
Yeah, like our local Safeway had Bourbon County just in their shelves,
right?
Which like last year or the year before, they had it for almost 6 months at my local bottle shop.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I can find Bourbon County well into August usually at my local place. And then by November, it's back out on the shelves,
Yeah, because
anyway, Skull says he will if I will. So I think that seals the deal.
No,
I think we have to.
No,
I think we have to. I'm going to let this warm up just slightly. So I'm going to have a different one first. Because this is like 34 as it comes out of my fridge.
Now I'm like, what am I going to open next to piss you off? I'm going to go like, I'm going to save that beer for Jeff. Nope, I don't think so.
Nope, screw that. Screw him.
Screw him. Nope, I'm going to drink this all Star Trek themed and everything. Too bad.
Yep. So Skull, yes, let's do it, but let's wait about 40 minutes. So I think I'm going to have the Wreck the Halls double IPA. So it's from Full Sail Brewing, 8.5%. This is one of their seasonal releases. Hood River,
that one
Oregon.
Does sound good though.
Yeah,
that one I wanted to pick that one up and just didn't.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Breaking everything.
Yeah, my wife just broke a glass.
Oh, jeez, I was being sarcastic.
Well, if there weren't so many many glasses and bowls in your bar sink,
Yeah.
maybe it wouldn't have broken.
This is not group time.
I get 3 bowls and 6 cups here.
You want to come on camera and say it? Ugh. Love you.
Jeff's just gonna be washing dishes as he's like, all right, and the RTX 60.
Yeah. My producer, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So here is the Full Sail Wreck the Halls Double IPA, 8.5%. It's actually a very dark IPA.
I know. I was almost gonna say, is it a red IPA?
It's not quite red, like color-wise. It's not quite there. It's got a head that just won't quit, though. I mean, that's like you poured it.
Hey.
I couldn't even get the full pint in this pint glass, so yeah. What are your thoughts on the M1 MacBook Pro? I will be doing a full video review of that. I'm wanting to spend some time with it and actually do a full in-depth review. And for that, I'm going to take a little bit of time with it. So you'll get a full review from my perspective soon. TM. Big Spoon, $4.99. I miss Hop's video pairings before each episode. I wish we could all drink the same thing. Honestly, I miss drinking beers with my friends every Wednesday. That's the whole reason I started this show, was literally to drink beer with my friends.
Drink with your friends, yeah.
Yeah, what John said. Because otherwise, when would I hang out with them and have a chance to open a beer? Like maybe once a month, I'd see one of them. And it's like, if I could make all of them come over to my house once a week and we could just drink, sweet. And so that's what it started as. And I miss we're drinking the same thing. And so we can talk to each other about what the flavor profile is. And
don't worry. I still have all of the specialty stuff saved. And
I got all your pickle crap waiting in my fridge.
I have been saving it and building it. So don't you worry. Once it's safe to go over there. Oh, yeah.
This just in, COVID extended through 2021.
That's just going to make them even more seasoned. They're aged now.
Yeah.
I'm going to cellar them.
Vaccine actually turns people into zombies. Back to you.
Let's see. Anyone else put anything on chat of what they're drinking? I didn't see that.
That's right. Let's see. Bundy's got a Anderson Valley Bourbon Barrel Stout. Let's see. Skull's going to be drinking his Bourbon Barrel Aged Goose Island Bourbon County Reserve.
Kill Die is having a McMiniman's Ruby Ale.
Novella Hub's got an Urban Growler Brewing Tangled Tinsel Ale or Tinsale Amber Ale 6.8%. Man, could I butcher that name even more if I tried?
We got Emil Davis is having Cigar City's Florida Man Double IPA 8.5%. That sounds good.
Nice.
Aramis
is drinking tea called Cannabis Magic.
We got Budney 76 Anderson Valley Bourbon Barrel Stout.
I already said that one.
Oh, did you?
Yep.
Well, so I'm not paying attention.
Yep, that's okay. Let Iron wants to know, how's the narwhal? Have you had the 2020 yet?
I have not. I just bought it.
Okay. To me, the narwhal has usually been a fairly smooth stout. This one feels like it needs time more than anything else. It's probably one of the harsher ones that I've had, where it's got a real bite, especially at the back end of it. I mean, it's still what is that, 9 or 10%?
Yeah, I thought it was like
10.2. I mean, it's boozy, but usually for the special reserve stouts, you're used to getting a lot of ABV with not a lot of that bite. And this one still has
sweetness to it and to hide the bite.
Right. This one, it's sweet, but it needs more time. Is kind of my best assessment of it. So.
And yet you're already on your second case.
It's still good. I didn't say it wasn't good. I just said it needed more time, and I drank all 6 of those bottles.
One day later, let's check the time now. Okay.
Still not ready.
Not ready. I need another day. Okay. It's been a week, guys. I don't get this.
Well, here's the deal. I wanted to make sure, number one, it wasn't like food that I was pairing it with or something that was weird. And I also wanted a couple for aging. And I actually ended up just blowing through the 6-pack. And so it's like, well, I need to buy another 6-pack now so I can actually age a couple of them. And now I have 4 more I can drink. See?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was my theory.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get this show on the road. We'll start with actually some good news for the PC component market. I know there hasn't been a lot of that lately because pretty much everything's been sold out, unavailable, or priced so high through the roof, you might as well just not build anything at all. Much like the video that I did on the finally available Intel i3 10100F for $85, 4 cores, 8 threads, boosting to 4.3 gigahertz. If you haven't seen the video, go watch that video. But it's a pretty solid chip and probably the fastest single-threaded performance we've ever seen at that price point. As I said in the video, it comes within spitting distance of a Ryzen 3600 for $85. And so if you're looking for like a bargain basement gaming chip, oh heck yes, that all day long. Intel just actually dropped the price of another chip though, and this time around it is the i5 10400, not the F version, just the standard 10400, which is a 6-core 12-threaded processor to $159.
Yeah, and this one you can also turbo to 4.3.
Yeah, this one has very, very similar boost clocks to the i3 10100F, and should get you about the same performance, but have 2 more cores, 4 more threads to go along with it. This would actually compete very well with a Ryzen 5 3600. The problem, or the reason it didn't, was I think originally this was priced at, what was it, $239, $229?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's $220 and $219. I saw it. It
was between $30 and $60 more than a 3600 was. And you weren't getting really any more performance for that extra money, especially when the Ryzen 3600 bottomed out at, $160 brand new. So, but this is a pretty good deal at $160 for, a 10th gen Intel chip. There's still a lot of the same issues that I mentioned in my review of the 10100F. You still need a Z470 motherboard or an H470 motherboard so you can, Z490 H470, so you can overclock the RAM high enough to actually get some decent performance out of it. Otherwise, you're going to be locked at 2666. There is no overclocking on the chip at all. If Intel wants to play spoiler in the bargain area, they're going to need to start unlocking things. Is my full opinion. So. I paid $85 for the 1600 AF. That's the other one that's been just an incredible deal. It didn't last very long, and we didn't think it would because those were actually Ryzen 5 2600 chips that didn't quite meet the bin requirements, and so they sold them as 1600 AFs. And so they weren't a 1600, but they weren't a 2600 either. Yeah. But at $85, they're still 6 cores, 12 threads. That'll turbo to 3.9 on its own. And they were pretty incredible chips. I actually ended up selling mine because I have a 1700, a 2600, a 3600. It's like I have enough 6-core chips. I'm good. But
well, you can only do so much with 6-core chips, and especially for what you're trying to do. I mean, right. How many videos are you going to do? Like, let's check out what this 6-core chip can do.
Right. The problem with not getting sampled all the new CPUs is I don't have $500 to go blow on a single chip for a single video. And so a lot of what my ball game has been is if I have a use for it so I can go buy it and then I can use it, or I buy a $200 chip knowing I'm not going to make the money back on that purchase, but now I have it in case I need to do a video later on. And maybe I can do a review of the CPU and a build with it and a thought experiment later. And maybe that makes that revenue back. But it's not like I can go out and... I actually did consider buying a 10980XE for $900 because they've fallen to about $900, which is Intel's 18 core for the X299 platform. I'm still interested in one, but I'm not willing to pay $900 for one. Especially when it's been the same chip for, how many generations? The 7980XE was the same chip.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and for $900, you could, if stuff came available, you probably want to spend that $900 somewhere else.
There's other content that I can do for $900.
Yeah.
Especially lately, because again, I can't get a lot of the brand new stuff. Now, that being said, I do have one of these sitting on my desk right now, but I don't have, a 3090, a 3080, a 3070, a 3060 Ti, a 6800, a 6800 XT, a 6900. I don't have everything. And I also feel doing nothing but content on the higher end stuff right now is going to be very disingenuous to the audience, because look what I get to play with and none of you can buy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that guy. I understand why people are doing reviews, and the information is still valid even when you can finally buy the parts later on. But my channel is not going to get clicks for doing reviews on,
stuff you can't even get right now.
A 3080 build. My channel will not get clicks on that unless I find out something very unique to do with the 3080, in which case NVIDIA's not going to like it anyway and won't sample me. So let's unlock SRIOV on the RTX 3080.
How hot can we get this? Well, it's hot enough to distill liquor.
Yeah. That's why I'm not going out and dropping $900 on a 10980XE, even though I have kind of an interesting project that I wanted to do with it in mind. That $900 can be shifted into other content, which will actually get views on my channel right now. Things like some of the server content that you've seen coming at you. The couple of 1U boxes that I've reviewed lately. Those absolutely paid off. Views wise, interaction wise, they've been great. And so I'm trying to focus a little bit more on that until the consumer market frees up a little bit more.
And hopefully it will, in the next couple of months. If stock, if places can get resupplied, then the used market will probably spike a bit more too, and that essentially opens up for an area that you can go and get. So hopefully that'll happen.
But right now, the best system that you can build at retail is probably an i5 10400 and a GTX 1650. Everything else is sold out. So
at least the i5 is now on sale.
Yeah. At least SSDs are still cheap. Memory's been climbing back up a little bit lately, but SSDs are about as cheap as they've ever been. So at least there's that.
That's true. I mean, those are dirt cheap.
You can get a 500 gig NVMe for less than $50. It's like, holy crap.
I know. You can get a terabyte for
90.
I was gonna say under 100.
Yeah. So memory or storage has been as cheap as it's ever been as far as modern flash storage. Unfortunately, those 8 terabyte drives are still taking their time getting down into like the sub $100 price points. So yeah, I can't upgrade my storage quite yet.
No, but still, for the person who is building the system, that brand new system or a later system, or wants to upgrade that 500 gigabit, Walmart, Best Buy off the shelf model, that $90 might actually help you out a lot.
OC the GT710. I actually have a build coming up with a GTX 1650, so stay tuned. Love my 1650 Super. 1650 Super is a great card. Definitely is a great card. All right. Let's see what else we've got here. We can talk about the 6900 XT because it came out yesterday.
Yeah. It did?
Yep.
It actually is able to purchase, or it just came out?
It came out.
Ah.
I could add one to my cart today. I
really?
had
'Cause
access. So if you go over to Roguecast, they've been dropping new shipments probably about once a week or so, or once every
Okay,
4 or
'cause
5 days.
I went there a little bit after you did, and it said out of stock.
Right. They had stock for about 2 to 2.5 hours. I mean, it wasn't like a 30-second drop. It was in stock. I could add it to my cart and I could buy it. I almost pulled the trigger on a 3060 Ti last week. They had an MSI Ventus 3060 Ti. But again, $450 to show off a card that has equal performance to my graphics card that I have already, which is a RTX 2080. Where's the
what are you gonna do? And already videos have already been out, so
right?
What are you really?
It's not like I'm gonna be
different?
first. It's not like I'm gonna have anything more to add to the story. It's just a $450 graphics card that I can do a review on that no one's gonna care about. So yeah, changed my mind. But anyway, yeah, the 6900 XT is officially on sale. Almost nowhere at this point, but like I said, roguecast.com did have some stock on them yesterday, and I was actually able to add one to my cart. I didn't check it out, but it was there. Anyway, $1,000 gets you the reference card. AIB cards are trending slightly higher than that. I think the Nitro Plus 6900 XT from Sapphire was running about 1,050, 1,070. So a little bit of a price premium on some of the AIBs. But performance-wise, it's definitely up there with the 3090 from a lot of the reviews that I've seen. It doesn't pass it in many things, and in fact, in some things, it doesn't even tie it. But I don't think that's the point of this card. I think the point of this card is to provide a boost over the 6800 XT and a boost over the 3080, which in most cases it does. It's not designed to be a production card or a workstation card, where the 3090 has aspirations of being a Titan / Quadro kind of chip. The 6900 XT is 100% gaming focused. And so anyone who tried to do any kind of professional benchmarking on it, they went, well, this is terrible. It's clocking lower than a 3080. Yes.
It wasn't designed for that.
Right. That's usually going to happen with AMD anyway. And I think we've talked about this on the show before as well, is no one uses AMD in the professional space because all of the driver and software support is on NVIDIA's side. And all of the driver and software support is on NVIDIA's side because no one buys AMD cards for the professional workspace. And so it's a chicken and the egg kind of thing. One of them has to start making ground before the other will catch up. And so either they can start...
might do it, though, eventually.
The 6900 definitely has the ability to stretch its legs.
Yeah. And this, it's not going to be this generation, but this might show the next generation, maybe the generation after that, that maybe big industry professional, editing video stuff, they might, drivers might come out for them. And then I think this is AMD's, we talked about when this got announced, this is AMD's really big push. And this is the start of the GPU big push.
Yes.
Where their CPU was a while ago with the first Ryzen. Now we're on Gen 3, and 2 gens later, it's amazing. And so this is their first gen of the really good GPUs that everyone's talking about. But Intel has their 30 series, and that's what everyone's still talking about.
Right.
But they're saying, hey, this competes, and it really does compete against that price and performance, except in the corporate world.
Right. Make no mistake about it. AMD is back in the gaming landscape as far as high-end GPUs. They are competing directly with every single price point that NVIDIA has put out. And in fact, price to performance, 6900 XT looks like a hell of a value sitting next to the 3090 at 2/3 of the price.
Yeah.
The other brackets, they're pretty much equaling the performance, but and price point on both. But at the same time, everyone knew the 3090 was overpriced at $1,500 and said, realistically, you're seeing about a 10 to 15% uptick from the 3080. Maybe $1,000 makes a lot more sense. Well, here we have the 6900 XT at $1,000,
yeah.
making a lot of sense
again,
price performance wise.
Yeah, but I think the 3090 was also to bridge that gap of the serious gamer and the semi-professional, person, to where it's like, you don't need to grab that Titan. You don't need to grab that really expensive graphic cards and have two stations. Essentially, you can buy this one card that's half the price of a Titan, and still get really good gaming performance and really decent editing and photo performance.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for a Titan V to drop on eBay low enough, because it's kind of an obscure card. Now they're still $1,400, but it's a 24 gig Titan card with, I think it's on the Volta process, so it's not one that really had any life outside of Enterprise. There was the Titan V, and then there was the Tesla V100, which was the Volta 100 based GPU for compute. But as far as the gaming and workstation landscape, it's kind of an obscure card that not a lot of people look for. And I'd love to score one sometime for like $500-$600.
It'll be a bit,
because the thing has almost like 6,000 CUDA cores, if I remember correctly. V. Where's those specs at? There we go. Yeah, 12 nanometer process. Where's your CUDA cores? CUDA cores, where you at? 5120 shader units. Yeah, I think it's 5120. Okay. So when we were talking about the Pascal series cards, and so you've got the GTX 1080 and 1080 Ti. GTX 1080, I think, had 3820. The Ti and the Titans both came out with somewhere around 4100. And then the Volta process came out, which is not the same architecture, but came out with almost 5200 CUDA cores. So it was a significant uptick from what we had known back then. Now, obviously, the all-new Ampere cores, there's a lot more of them. I mean, there's 10,000 CUDA cores in the 3090. But the Titan V might make an interesting one to put on an eBay watch list.
Well, yeah, if it is in that 400 to 500 category, then sure.
Like I said, right now it's still being held up at professional prices for $2,400. Or it was a $3,000 card.
Yeah.
And
I thought it was like $1,600, $1,800.
No, when it came out at retail.
No, like now used.
Used, it's trending 15, maybe 18.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple go in the $1,200-$1,300 range, but those are pretty rare. Yeah. I'd like to find one. If anyone has one, or if anyone sees one like tossed away in recycling stuff, give me a call, and I will
at your
give
local
it
Goodwill,
and I will give it a new home. Yeah, I know I have some recyclers watching my show, so. This is a very solid double IPA.
Really?
Very solid.
Malty? As the color indicates?
It's not as malty as you would think. There's definitely a sweetness to it, but I wouldn't classify it as like your traditional malt, like malted IPA or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a little bit sweeter, but it still has, there's a lot of oil in there. So you got all the oils all over your tongue. All I can taste right now is hops.
Okay.
It's kind of
like,
wonderful.
is it like old school bittering Northwest hops, or is it more like the like a citrusy tropical?
It's not citrusy.
Okay,
this is a West Coast through and through.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's a good one of those is really hard to find,
Mm-hmm.
and they are more and more rare as beer industries come.
Yep.
Like
I said, you've got those bittering hops in there, and there's also a sweetness that just kind of carries through the main flavor. Now, once the beer is out of your mouth, all you taste is hop.
Yeah, but the oil just coats your tongue.
Exactly. But It's very well balanced. I'm really impressed with this.
What percentage you say it was? 8?
8.5.
8.5. Nice.
Yeah.
Good, decent sized beer.
Yeah. All right.
Mine's only like 5. 5.5.
5.5.
5.5.
What are you drinking domestic on me tonight?
It is no, it's Great Notion. But that's the thing, it's a sour. It's a Great Notion sour.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I'm already kind of bored with it.
Yeah. So you sound like you're bored with it.
I'm bored with it. It's just a strawberry sour and with lemon. It's like,
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, those are the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
There's strawberry, there's lemon, it's sour. I've had it now.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Yeah. It's like that's pretty much it. It doesn't go good in the cold.
Yeah. Say on some levels, I do appreciate beers like that, where it's a strawberry sour. Okay, and there's lemon in it. Cool. I taste all those things.
Yep,
That's what I was looking for. That's why I bought it. A+.
Yep.
But then it's like, would I come back to it? Am I craving that flavor? Is that something I'm seeking out? Is it?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, then it's like, I had it. It was okay.
Yeah, I checked it in.
Right.
That's all I need now.
It's on Untapped. You got a 3.25.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'd give this like a 3.5, 3.75. It's like, okay, it hits all the notes.
What's funny is
right.
We've said you rate a lot more generously than I do.
I do. Well,
I don't give pity points.
I don't. They're not pity points. They are craft points because there is hard work to get a beer to taste the way
there is
that they do describe it as, and that is a hard skill to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even if you don't like the flavor, is it there? Is it prominent? Is it a hard beer to make?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they swung for the fences, and they got an inside home run. They didn't get a home run, but it's an inside field home run. You know, so you got to give them some props. They still scored. So I give Brewers a quarter of a point to sometimes a half a point for that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep. And Ed's in the show. Ed's in the chat. Down in the chat.
Oh, we're gonna get dinged. Gonna get dinged.
Here we go. Demonetized again. So this was funny. I had to email Ed or DM Ed this. I got an email from Google yesterday morning that episode 160, the episode which Ed was on, has now been demonetized because it was deemed not safe for under 18. So
he is kind of scary looking, so yeah, I can see that.
Now, this is the first time in 160 episodes that I've had an age block on a Talking Heads show. So in a show about me sitting down with my friends and drinking beer and talking crap, that's the first show that's been demonetized because of an age limit.
1 out of 160.
Right.
That's my ratio.
I need to make Ed a plaque. Just a demonetized plaque.
He wasn't even drinking. He was having soda, wasn't he?
Yeah. Cola O.
Cola, yeah, the off-brand cola.
He says it's an NVIDIA conspiracy, I tell you. They want me silenced.
Although I will say, you guys were spitting off games left and right. It was crazy. There's some really old school games.
That was a fun show. That was a fun look back on some of that. He had me racking my brain going about as far back as I can go.
Yeah. I know there was a couple times like, wait, what are they talking about? Google this. Oh yeah, I totally remember that game. Didn't remember what it was called, but I know that cover.
Yep. I think I need to make Ed a plaque. All right, let's see. This one, this next story, this got all of the Linux fanboys with their in a bunch today. Let me tell you. So I know I'm going to offend people no matter how I say it, so I'm just going to say CentOS or CentOS. I don't care.
I went CentOS.
Yeah. So I think it depends on who first told you about it is how you pronounce it. Because I've heard both ways from people I respect very, very highly in the high-end server trade. So I'm just going to say CentOS because that's how I learned it. So, CentOS. For those who don't know, CentOS is often praised for its stability and often used in a lot of enterprise situations because it is one of the slowest developing Linux kernels out there, or Linux distributions. Excuse me. Let me make sure I have my terminology correct. CentOS has fanboys. So it is often praised because it is, in some cases, a year behind development from a lot of your mainstream distributions, from your Debian, Fedora, from Arch, from a lot of these other distros. It's that way because it goes through multiple vetting processes to get to where it's at. And the typical development process for a full release of CentOS is they start with the Fedora kernel, the Fedora core. So Fedora gets a release of version 19 or whatever, using the whatever Linux kernel we're on right now. Sorry, I don't keep up with the numbers.
Yeah.
Then IBM, who owns Red Hat, develops Red Hat off that Fedora core. And they vet it down and they make sure it's rock solid stable and good to go, and there's no driver issues and no memory leaks and things, and okay, we're good to go. And so you have Fedora as the starter. It's then drilled down into Red Hat. Then the community takes Red Hat and drills it down into CentOS. And all the handlers who keep track of CentOS and all the changes and whatnot, they're the ones who handle all that. Well, IBM is now the owner of CentOS and is changing its distribution model. What they are doing is they're saying that CentOS will no longer be a rebuild of Red Hat Enterprise, RHEL. Instead, CentOS is now going to be known as CentOS Stream, and it will be built concurrently alongside the Red Hat distribution. So they'll start with the Fedora core still, but it's not going to go through Red Hat vetting in enterprise first. They're just going to start developing CentOS off the original Fedora build.
So it's just Red Hat.
Well, Red Hat's going to get its own distribution. So they're going to develop CentOS and Red Hat side by side as separate distributions parallel to one another. Yes.
Okay. I mean,
okay.
So that's why they're calling it Stream, because are they saying that because they're streamlining the process, even though it's built off of Red Hat? But then they're cutting that part out, so they're still going to call it CentOS?
Yeah, so they're streamlining the Fedora to CentOS pipeline, essentially.
Yeah.
Is kind of their twist on it. Now, the reason I say it got a bunch of people's in a bunch is if you scroll down, the very first comment is, "This is dumb." And if I scroll down even further, it's, this is dumb. The entire premise and only reason anyone uses CentOS is because it's rebuilt Red Hat. Congratulations on undermining that, nitwits. +1, +1, +1, +1, +1, +1, +1, +1, +1. I can scroll down as far as you want, and it goes +1, +1, +1. So, fellow nitwit, I think everyone agrees with you. However, if I can be a dissenting opinion, as I often am, I don't think there's anything wrong with IBM developing CentOS alongside of Red Hat Enterprise. Red Hat Enterprise is also well known for its stability. IBM, believe it or not, is still, we'll call it one of the most intelligent employers on the planet Earth. It's because when you graduate from high-end universities, your UCLAs, your Stanfords, your Harvards, your whatever, you go to work at like 2 or 3 different places. And one of the main destinations, if you're in the technical field, is IBM. So they hire pretty much the most overqualified people to work as engineers anywhere. Canon is another weird one. But IBM, they're still up there. But I don't think taking away the Red Hat Enterprise build first is going to really be a detriment to CentOS as a whole. Number one, CentOS, while it was used a lot in Enterprise, it was used mainly because people went, oh yeah, it's stable because it's been through 2 vetting processes already.
Well, wasn't it that too? And it was free.
And it's free, and Red Hat itself is free as well, as long as you don't want to pay for service and support. Right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know that this is going to hurt CentOS all that much.
I mean, if they're going to just build it along with Red Hat, if they're going to build CentOS alongside with Red Hat and essentially just say, look, we're going to release both. Here's the one you got to pay for services and support. Here's the one that's not. Good luck. Both go out the door at the same time. I guess it's not horrible, but you kind of find that people probably did do what you're saying is because they grabbed CentOS because they may have found bugs that got skipped over, and now they're going to have to deal with it themselves. They're going to have to dig through the forums and find whatever bugs or issues might have happened between that process, that step down. So instead of venting through Red Hat and then going down,
right?
Being, like you said, 2 tiers behind. Now it's on the same platform as Red Hat,
right?
But Red Hat had support, and you had a problem, you'd call, and you'd get it dealt with. So
CentOS was used by Enterprise because the licensing was clean. That is a good point. Anyone who's ever dealt with server licensing in particular knows that's a good point. And Dechach points out that you can't run Red Hat Enterprise without a support contract. And I knew that in the back of my brain. Red Hat Enterprise will not run without you have to have a license and you have to have a valid contract. It's kind of like running Cisco equipment. You have to have a support contract to go with the licensing for the hardware you already bought. So I don't know that this is, again, really going to harm the stability of Red Hat or of CentOS. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think the only issue might be is it just might run into a bit more bugs here or there, and people will then just be like, well, I'm just going to keep staying on the previous version and not upgrade.
Well, that's also a problem because that leads to security vulnerabilities if your kernel's not updated, if your packages aren't updated.
Yeah, that's true.
One of the nice things about CentOS was it comes as like a bare bones system, and it's stable because there's nothing running on it. It's the Fedora version of Arch. Let's call it that. So I don't know that a lot is going to change simply because Red Hat is no longer in between Fedora and the final CentOS product. I could be wrong, but I've ran CentOS for a number of different enterprise servers. We've also ran just straight up Ubuntu server for a lot of enterprise servers. And you know what? Stability-wise, they ran about the same. So, yeah. Oh, all right. Let's get out of here before the Arch Boys attack. It is on yesterday. We lost a
dear old friend.
I was going to say deer.
I was going to say deer,
but I can't do it.
Yeah.
We lost, even when your enemies perish, it's a sad day. They still had their time in history. I won't say that for all enemies, but there are some exclusions to that rule. But we lost a nemesis, especially in the IT community. The bane of IT support everywhere. The plugin which could never be up to date enough. I'm speaking, of course, of Flash Player. Flash Player yesterday received its final update until it is officially end of life at the end of this month. That's right, Flash will no longer receive another update. And in fact, this update was a special one in memoriam of this occasion, of this momentous occasion. The update did not include any security updates, any patches, any vulnerability fixes. No, instead it said, thank you for 20 years of supporting Flash, but this will be the final update. That's literally the release notes.
I would have sat there and said skip.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't need it. It's fine. So you're saying now Flash is finally going to work.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Finally, they fixed the last bug.
They finally fixed the last bug. All right. I can use this now, guys.
Yep. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Amen. Flash Player dying is the best thing to happen to all of us on the internet. I fully agree with that, although I still do miss Stick Figure Death Theater.
Those are some good stuff.
Mm-hmm. You early 2000s gents know what I'm talking about there.
There were some bloody ones there too.
There were some really good ones there.
Didn't they try making like a whole mini series? I thought like Adult Swim or some YouTube channel tried making a whole series out of that, like an actual series instead of just I'm
sure someone has tried. So back in the day, back in like the early 2000s, there was a thing called Stick Figure Death Theater, sfdt.com. And it was kind of the way we treat YouTube for a lot of stupid videos today, where it was flash animations of stick figures battling to the death.
Oh, it was fantastic.
And so
much blood.
So think about like Matrix and anime kind of stuff, but 2D stick figure style animation, where they're just cutting everything up. Miss Jib Jab videos that used to run on Flash. Yeah, Jib Jab was another great one. Yeah, it was awesome, and it's a bit of lore that unfortunately I can't even relive it because they don't exist anymore. Like there's no preservation for stuff like that.
Yeah,
the site, I don't know if the site still exists, but yeah, Java is now the enemy we need to drive out of the kingdom.
That'll be a long time.
Yes, Ed. Java is the next one. Oh, let's see. I kind of want to get to this next story, but I feel like I need to finish this beer first.
Yeah. You suck. That's why. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you saw this story and you're like, I know what to do. I know what I'm going to do.
Seriously though.
Although did you read this? Did you read the story?
I have not yet.
Oh, okay. So it is actually interesting because it pertains to your bottle. You might have.
Do tell.
You, Jeff, might just have a lucky Easter egg Goose Island. Now, during this show a while ago, we talked about Goose Island's release, and every year we kind of talk about this, all the different flavors. I think this year was 7 or 9 different variants. But this year, there are actually 3 Easter eggs. Jeff, read between the lines. 3
3 Easter eggs. That's a lot, John. Can you parse that down to one single fact for me?
Let me see. There's but really what it is, it's really cool, is the original one is a bourbon barrel aged stout. And usually it's a blend of different stouts in different barrels. Well, someone actually found out because the brewers did not announce it, but it did get confirmed. There are these wild Easter eggs that are single barreled versions of just the plain ordinary Goose Island Bourbon Barrel County Stout. Mm-hmm. And ones are single of Heaven Hills barrel aged, Wild Turkey, or Buffalo Trace. Now, the regular one is a mix of all 3.
Right.
But the way you can tell is that you have to go to the back of the bottle of the cereal, and there's a number. And
Yep.
if the number has 2 letters next to it,
Yep. Nope.
that's the barrel. So what did you get?
I got 1256.
So you didn't no letters?
No letters.
You didn't get the golden ticket.
Yep. No golden ticket for me.
Yeah.
But I still have a bottle of Goose Island Bourbon County Stout.
Yeah. I have old one. I can go open up an old one.
I got a 2016 in the fridge.
Yeah, I think I got one of those.
How far back can you go?
I can go look. I gotta go grab a beer anyway. So go ahead and pour your beer for them.
No. I want you on camera for it.
No, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch, Jeff.
Where's the bottom of the barrel edition? Yeah, where's the one that they aged in Pabst Blue Ribbon barrels?
That was really quick. They just like dumped it and just drained right into the bottle.
They just ran it.
Gravity aged.
They just ran it along the planks.
Yeah. No, that's what Budweiser does, and they call it barrel aged.
Right.
They're like, oh, here's our Budweiser. We barrel aged it in the grain, in the grain mash.
All right. So I'll let John go grab whatever beer he's going to drink. And I will open this. So this is, as we've stated, a 2020 Goose Island Bourbon County Stout. I can still hear you, John. It is a 14.6%. And this is going to be kind of a rare one this year. I'm going to open this right now. I have another one of these coming. And so that one I'm likely going to age for quite some time. But let's get this thing open. And Skull says he doesn't have an Easter egg bottle either. We both struck out. All right. Hey, John, I don't want you to miss it.
I don't even want to look.
There's the thumbnail.
Yeah, I'll give you a thumbnail. Give you a damn thumbnail.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. They're fantastic smelling.
Oh, God.
I don't even know if I want this now.
What are you drinking?
I want a stout. Well, I grabbed... Is
that a Fort George?
It's a Fort George.
Yeah.
It's a rum barrel-aged strong ale with pineapple, coconut, orange, and nutmeg.
You know, that actually sounds pretty good right now.
This was supposed to be my Thanksgiving beer, and I never opened it.
Yeah.
And but now that that stout looks good. Now I kind of want a stout.
It smells good.
Yeah, you suck.
Oh, the chocolate on this one?
Yeah. Oh. Chocolatey.
All right, so real quick, I need everyone to say how much longer should I torture John? That's what I need to know right now. That's what I need to know. Because I haven't taken a drink of this yet. I'm just living off the smell.
All right, I'll go with that.
And the smell is
Since
good.
I have it.
It's been over a year since I've had a BCS. So, all right, he's back. He's back.
All right. Well, it's not bourbon barrel aged or anything, but it is
But it's a stout.
Beer.
Okay, what'd you
get? They got another great notion because I had quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Frosty Imperial Stout with vanilla.
Oh.
So this one is 11.75.
Ed says, I wonder if the channel would explode if I had one of them PBRs.
I got a lot
or
of
if
PBRs.
One of the, I wonder if the channel will explode if one of them had a PBR. I think he's talking about us.
Oh. Obviously, he's never seen my channel.
John does it all the time.
Wait. I got a PBR for Ed.
You got the whiskey?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh.
That's PBR, Ed.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll like the coffee one. That the one I just did of the cold brew. So
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh. Hope we get demonetized then. Yeah, I'm gonna make this one demonetized.
No, that's literally making my ears ring. That's amazing.
I mean, this smell. I'm just, no matter what, I'm just now jealous. And it's like, yeah, mine smells good, but I know Jeff's is better. That's all I'm thinking right now.
No. Because I know you, and that's amazing. So while you were gone, I asked them how much longer I needed to torture John.
That's really good. It's not bourbon. God, I really want to. That's really sweet though. Okay, it's just not Bourbon County.
I will say, this year's very, very sweet already. Very, very sweet.
I did hear that this year's was a lot of people like the regular one a lot better than last year's regular one.
Yeah, I had a couple of last year's, and kind of like the Narwhal, there was just a little bit of bite left at the end. I think a 2019 aged one would do very well, maybe a year or two in a cellar.
Yeah.
This one,
good to go fresh.
2017, how smooth that one was.
Oh yes.
This is that. This is that. I mean, it's liquid. It's liquid gold. I mean,
mine's good, but
consistency of used motor oil, but you changed it right at 3,000. It's one of those.
You hit it and you're like, oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there.
Laminar flow. That's what that's called. There's no booze at all. I mean, you taste bourbon. You taste a lot of bourbon. But it's almost too sweet. The chocolate, especially on this, is very, very big.
Oh, now you're downplaying it. It's like, oh, it's not that good. Yeah, there's problems with it. You don't even want it.
I didn't say that. What I said is it's almost too sweet. It's the chocolate is very, very pronounced this year. But it's still that dark chocolate, still a little bit bitter, but there's this sweetness that just drives through the whole flavor. Steve says he has a 2017 still aging.
Yeah, I might have one of those.
Yep.
I mean, it's in the back somewhere.
Yep. My oldest is a 2016. I have a 2016. So
I might have one of those.
It's older than my youngest daughter, which is weird.
I think
Although I have scotches that are way older than all of my kids.
I have a beer that's older than you, me, maybe not. I think it's like actually is Steve's age.
It's pushing Steve. Yeah, I know. I knew that.
It's pushing Steve. I mean, it's not a good beer, but it's that old.
Gaming Syndrome, is that back wall vinyl flooring? Yes. I was trying to think of a way to downplay it, but no, it's vinyl flooring. And it's freaking great because it took me all of 6 hours to tile that entire wall, and it looks amazing, both in person and on camera.
Yeah, it actually does look good in person. It's very seamless.
Yep. I was actually getting frustrated yesterday because I was trying to frame up a different shot, and I need to finish this other wall. So there's the back wall, and then there's the brick facade behind the bar, and those both turned out amazingly well. But there's this other wall that's gray, and I always wanted to bring the wood out this way. And I think I finally decided I'm going to do that. I'm finally going to just knuckle down one day and just do it.
Is that going to be a float plane video? An extra?
It might be a float plane video. Hell, it might just
video.
be a live stream of me swearing all day.
Yeah, it's going to get demonetized.
I don't care if it's on float plane. So if you'd like to see me swearing all day long, make sure to join the Patreon or the float plane. Links are down in the video description. You'll get exclusive access to this Discord server where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and join the ever-growing community that's over there and actually hear me swear on air.
Yes. And it is actually a really big community. It's as Jeff did his spiel, but actually there's a lot of stuff on there. It's not just a selling point of our ticket. It actually is a really fun
There's almost
community.
400 people over there now.
Yeah, I know. It is. I remember in the infancy of it, of 8 people on there, and it was just the 8 of us chatting away, and it grew so fast.
Yeah.
And it's still a very, very fun area. People are now able to kind of find the rooms that they like, and then, hey, that's my area.
Yep.
And there's enough for everyone. It's a great, great area.
Yeah. I try so hard to keep up with all of the chat in there and to be very active in the Discord. But it's almost gotten to the point where I've even had to start picking my rooms of where I jump in and where I have conversations, because I I'll wake up in the morning and there's 400 unread messages from just the EU people. EU and Australia go crazy when I'm sleeping. So yeah, it's gotten quite big. I will say I'm very, very proud of the community. I'm very proud of the community that I built, that good people would come my way and want to talk and be respectful and everything else. We have very few problems over there. It's been amazing. It really has.
No, it's a fun community, and even when there are disputes or issues, they're not big. They're very well taken care of, and everyone is very respectful afterwards. There's never been like this big blowout. It seems that everyone always, hey, I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that. Yep. I'm not going to do it again. It's just a misunderstanding. Here it is. Maybe no, none of this. F you, I'm leaving this channel. Blah blah blah. So I mean, you'll find that in other, bits channels and whatnot. But who cares?
Yeah, and I present a lot of my content as very family friendly. Number one, that was very intentional because of the alcoholic content on here. I don't want to be perceived as just like the drunk tech, although sometimes I get that name anyway because there's a beer on my channel. But on the Discord, you can swear, but really nothing else is allowed. There's no lewds, there's no not safe for work content, no gore, no all that kind of stuff. This isn't the place for that. This is a PC enthusiast community, and that's how it will stay. And this isn't a frat boy hangout. This isn't anything like that. This is a place where you can come and get advice. You can come and ask questions.
Yeah, the worst offense you can do is spoiler a Star Trek series for us.
Oh, so help me God.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get banned for that. But as long as you put spoiler tags, you'll be fine. But
yeah. Jeff only hangs out in Wesley's quarters now. You're not wrong. Because I can crap post with the best of them.
It is very hard. I'm just like, I'll get sucked in. I'm like, that's half my day. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm done. I just lost half my work. What am I doing? Well, since I lost half my day, I'll spend the rest back on there.
Yep. Race Boy says, I'm here for the cheap servers. Then you're in the right place. All right. So speaking of Australia.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of Australia, everyone's heard this. Well, Foster's, Australian for beer. Well,
and every Australian I've ever met went, who the is Foster's?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's not actually true.
Yeah.
Foster's, actually, so if you talk to anyone in Australia and you go there, it's almost impossible to find Australia. Actually, to date, there are only 10 places in all of Australia you can get Foster's. And think about that. Australia as a landmass is close to the United States. I mean, I know most of the cities are on the outbounds, but still, 10 places in all of that. Well, yeah. Asani, the Japanese big behemoth, the beer guys over there, they actually bought Foster's from Anheuser-Busch, or InBev, I should say.
Yes.
And this year, and they actually plan on bringing Foster's back to Australia because technically, yes, Foster's was back in like the 80s, was over there. But they are going to ramp up production and increase distribution by 300%. So if any of the Australian viewers that watch this show, which we know there are, a few of them anyways, you can now try Foster's for the first time. Yeah. And they're trying to even market it as a very cheap, decent beer. They're going to go with a 30-pack for, I think, like $40, which is, I guess, very reasonable within that. I don't know what $40 gets you, $42. But yeah. So Foster's is actually finally coming back to Australia. Yay.
Yay. I guess.
John,
okay, have you ever had a Foster's?
A long time ago. And there is a second one. A friend of mine did tell me about. So now they have what's called a green can. And it is their red version. It's our amber version of, it's an amber lager.
Okay.
And apparently, it's not half bad. I haven't had it. A friend told me about it. He's like, you know what?
That's high praise.
I kind of trust his particular. He loves European malt flavor beers,
Yeah.
especially English. And he's like, this reminded me, as it warmed up, of an English beer.
Okay.
I was like, okay. I still have. That was like 3 years ago. He told me this. Still haven't bought one.
Yeah.
So, I want to try it, but I think the cool thing about Foster's is they always came in that really large can.
Yeah, they're always the
22 or 24 ounce cans or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they had I think they were the first ones to do. No, that was Heineken. Heineken did the mini kegs. Yeah. Or the micro kegs or whatever.
Yeah. Heineken did the micro kegs, the half gallon.
Yeah.
Little pony keg kind of thing.
Yeah.
Steve wants to remind everyone that no, it was Star Trek Discovery that spoiled Star Trek.
That's true. I will state, I stomached through, I did it on the Discord, so people want to follow, they'll know this. I stomached through season 2. It took like 3 weeks to finish like 4 episodes. So it's a big stomach.
I think I'm gonna try to stomach through because I watched episode 1 and I went, I'm out. This isn't for me.
It's a big pill to swallow.
Right, exactly. But lately I've been finding more time in the studio to turn on the TV and watch shows while I'm working, benchmarking, that kind of thing. So I've actually been rewatching Breaking Bad because I had to watch Breaking Bad over like 7 years. Yeah, it was only a 5-year run. It took me 7 years to watch it, and I didn't start watching it until after the finale.
Yeah.
Or I had watched like season 1 when the finale was happening. Like I was way behind. I had 2 kids in the time. What
you're like, who's this Heisenberg guy?
Right. Well, I understood some of the memes, but I didn't know anything about the story. I knew a chemistry teacher broke bad. That's all I knew.
Yeah, chemistry teacher sells drugs. That's it.
Right. Exactly. And so it took me a long time to get through it. And I went, I've heard this is one of the best shows that has ever been done. I want to just binge this thing over the course of like a month and get through it. And it's only been 2 weeks and I'm already halfway through season 3. It's like I'm well on my way to finishing it, which is the first time I can say that about any TV show in the last decade. So I'm thinking once I'm done with this, I might jump on to Discovery just to get through it, just so I can say that I've watched it.
So that's what the
point. And then at the end, give it an honest opinion because go ahead.
The point I was trying to make or to get into is that the season 3 just started. Season 3, pretty good.
Yeah.
Like first episode of season 3, I declared it. That was the best episode of all of Discovery. And 2 wasn't bad. And I'm on episode 3 right now. Again, it's still a slow burn. It's not a fantastic, but they take a lot of special liberties. But because of the story, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but it does have a lot of Voyager-esque feel because it is a starship in an area of an unknown universe, and they are just completely out of place.
Yeah.
And they have no backup, no help whatsoever. Do they still use the morals of the Federation anymore, type of a thing? They're running into different alien races and different tech that they've never seen before. So it has that bit of Voyager, but then there's still that really bad Discovery of like, oh, we have this tech that's really cool, which never existed, right. And it's supposed to be prior to...
That could have helped out in DS9.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, where was that tech?
And that's why I wish Hollywood would get out of their own... Yeah, I almost swore. Get out of their own way, how shall we say, and stop doing the god blessed prequels.
Yeah.
Progress a story forward. Have the balls to do that. Please. Enough of the reboots. Please. Tell a new story for once in your freaking lives over the last 20 years. How many Spider-Man reboots until we just revolt as a society?
Well, technically, because the new one, there's rumored to be join all of the reboots together
Whoa,
as
whoa,
one.
whoa, 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 whoa. So Epos Vox went on a rant on Twitter, and I fully support that rant. It was one dude who posted to a blog that no one reads that said, I think it would be really cool if Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst came back and joined up with blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, he's being cited as a source, even though he said, I think it would be cool. And now you have confirmation that Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst will be joining.
Yeah, no. But there has been, I forget the actor's
But the
name.
more sites that report it, the more they cite each other.
Even
though there's no initial citation.
That's just like, okay, well, we've
It's
seen
journalism 101.
I know. Journalism today is just like,
and I'm fired up.
Facebook post,
and I'm fired up, and Vox is a journalism major. Like,
I know his brain. He had the aneurysm.
That's why we started with the aneurysm. There we go.
But now I did read though that it wasn't Tobey Maguire, but it was I forget the actor's name in Spider-Man 2 who played Dr. Octavius. He was spotted on the set filming.
Yeah.
In what appeared to be
an Octavius blue screen suit.
But well, it was the trench coat. Just the trench coat, which now modern tech they can do whatever they want off of that. Which was then assumed that, hey, there's all this other thing, and because there was also confirmed, this part was confirmed, that Jamie Foxx is villain of Electro, is going to actually have a cameo in the movie.
See, I'm down with that. I'm down with Jamie Foxx doing anything.
So that is two different Spider-Man villains from two different universes appearing. What do you people then make? Someone
brings up a great point. How many more Batmans will there be? I want to reverse that. John, how many Batman reboots has there been in our lifetime?
Oh, so many. Although, again, they're doing the same thing with Batman. Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman. Been confirmed. Been confirmed in the new Flash movie. Michael Keaton is coming back as
At least it's not George Clooney Batman.
No.
At least it's not Nipple Batman.
Although and Val Kilmer. But
yeah. Well, he won't fit in the Batsuit anymore.
No, I feel bad for him. Although I think he has a cameo in Top Gun.
Yeah. I sure hope so.
But
I hope the Iceman earned one. Like,
yeah, I think he just walks by. His cancer kind of ruined his acting career. Mm-hmm. No, it's been confirmed. Michael Keaton is supposed to play because the new Flash is kind of based off the Flash point paradox where he travels through time and causes something and creates a different alternative universe. So people are saying it may not be Michael Keaton's Batman. It may be Batman's father playing old Batman, or it could be Batman and it could be, what was that future Batman Beyond? And he's old Bruce Wayne and not Batman.
Right.
Which I would actually love a Batman Beyond. I don't know if you ever watched that TV series.
A little bit of it. So I certainly didn't watch all of it.
Yeah. But I do agree that.
Or no, you're talking Gotham.
No, it was an old cartoon like.
Oh,
like
the animated one. Yeah.
Maybe early 2000s.
Yeah. Okay.
Where it featured an old 120-year-old Bruce Wayne. Yeah, I do agree that writers today of movies and TVs, they're just rehashing, either saying, oh, let's take that story and just make it them younger and let's tell the origin story again. But somehow there's all these extra adventures that were never talked about in the original movie or series.
Right.
It's horrible. I mean, they're doing that with, again, another Star Trek one. They're doing what's called, I think it's just going to be called Enterprise, not Star Trek Enterprise, just Enterprise. And it's going to be Commander Pike and Spock, and then the introduction of Kirk, of how Kirk and Pike start their relationship.
Because we totally needed to rehash that because 2009 didn't do a good enough job.
No, apparently not. And somehow there's probably going to be 4 to 7 years of that before Kirk takes over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
So we knew it was canon that Pike was the original captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been canon since the 60s. But it's frustrating that why can't we go on from Voyager? Why can't we go on from DS9? Why can't we even go on from TNG? Right, or Insurrection. Yeah. Nemesis. You know,
Nemesis, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Why can't we tell a new story that didn't happen yet, instead of just reintroducing Kirk for what, the fourth actor now?
So I guess though that is kind of the blessing of the new Discovery series. Again, I can't say anything about saying spoilers, but that's what they do in the new one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have to say a spoiler, and it's been out for a while, a couple weeks, so everyone kind of knows if you watch it. They travel forward in time.
Yeah.
Spoiler, but 900 years.
Yeah.
So now it's 900 years into the future. So
Voyager did it first.
Yeah, exactly. I know. But that's what I'm saying. It has that Voyager feel. It has that we're, out of place, out of time type of a thing. And so there is new tech, which is one of the things that everyone in new, opening up Star Trek, you're kind of like, oh, what's the latest thing? I mean, I got pissed when they introduced the new tricorder in Nemesis. It was like an ultra thin tricorder. I was like, that's stupid. That's not a tricorder. A lot of people got.
Where are you going to fit the calibration matrix in that thing?
Yeah, well, a lot of people got pissed for Geordi losing his visor. I mean, I didn't, but I heard backlash of it.
Right.
So I see that side of it as.
I do like that it wasn't a medical thing, that they literally just gave him new eyes.
Yeah, they gave him like robotic eyes.
Right, which that's kind of what a visor was. I
mean, although we did get to see through his eyes in First Contact when he like inspects that coil.
Generations.
Was it Generations?
Yeah.
No, he had the visor in Generations.
He had the visor in Generations. Yeah.
It was First Contact. He had it was when he was about to when he did that outreach. And
reaching towards the future.
Yeah, and Lieutenant Barclay comes and has that copper coil
leak. And I'm not detecting any leak.
Yeah, yeah, that stupid joke. So we
don't you people in the 24th century ever pee?
Which is then addressed, I think, in like 2 movies later, where like you see Kirk or Picard in the bathroom, or at least he has the sink and whatever. So I don't know. So that's just the first 3 episodes of Discovery. Enjoying them because they still introduce original alien species.
Yep.
From even the original series. So it's like, okay, they didn't rehash Klingons again. They reimagined Andorians, but in a way that makes sense.
Right.
It's just a little more rigid. Okay, that's just good makeup.
Right.
So it's like, okay, all of this is
the
fine.
Klingons were glittery.
Oh God, and had long fingernails and had to. Those are horrible. I was really hoping that they can now reintroduce the Klingons now.
Yeah.
Because it can go through the disease phase and we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Thing. It's like, oh, okay, bring Brad back original Klingon. That would be great, or at least a much better version of it. Yeah. But yeah, no, you're gonna have to choke through
all I
2
could
seasons.
focus on when I watched episode 1 of Discovery was Kronos, how may I connect you?
Mm-hmm. No. The first 2 seasons of Discovery, I mean, you would rather go to the dentist and get 2 root canals with no Novocaine. That is more pleasurable. I think there was like 1 good episode in all of the 2 of those series.
Yeah.
And they still probably butchered a bunch of stuff. But yeah, the 3rd season, and maybe that's just me, is I've gone through so much bad stuff with it. It's like, oh, now it's good.
Well, you rewatched the first 2 seasons of Next Generation on the regular, so you've been through a lot of bad.
Well, I also watched the first couple seasons of DS9, and I was like, whoa,
Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh, them's fighting
I
words.
will never play a board game again. I'm sorry.
You're just afraid to get your hands dirty.
They had to introduce next gen characters to make people actually like this series. Oh, like Q or Worf or Riker. Oh, whatever. It's cool.
You missed
Oh, not
O'Brien in all that?
Well,
Of course you did.
Well, they messed up O'Brien's ranking enough. He was a petty officer, and then he had like two pips.
Yeah, he was a lieutenant junior grade for a while on Next Generation.
Yeah,
and then eventually he became a non-enlisted person, so he never went through Starfleet. He just got a job working as an engineer.
He had like a battlefield commission.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and I think it's funny. I said there's like one episode where they reference him fighting the Cardassians, and they took that version of O'Brien, where the Enterprise had to go intercept, I think, like a sister ship or something like that.
Right.
And O'Brien served with that captain, and somehow O'Brien knew the frequency of its shield, and apparently every 16th of a second you can beam whatever you want through the shield.
Right.
But he fought the Cardassians in there, which is then referenced a lot in DS9.
Right. So Skull says, I forget who started the Star Trek conversation, but whoever it was took this down the rabbit hole.
I think it was me.
Yes.
Probably. You know how we get.
Yep.
You know what though? I blame you and your stupid Goose Island.
I will say, this is all of 14.2%.
All right. There are.
I haven't been this loose on camera for a little while now.
Okay. Well, hey, let's at least do the last two beer news. They're really quick.
More than happy to.
Okay.
Lead the way.
Okay. So there's. I'm gonna do the.
Oh God, John is leading me.
I am not gonna disable my ad blocker. Stupid. All right. So, well, if any of you are wanting a taste of what Jeff and I drink. One of the breweries here in Oregon is now going to be distributed nationwide. Unfortunately, it is also owned by InBev. Or no, Molson Coors.
It's Molson Coors. It's Hop Valley. They're in Bend,
Valley.
right?
They are in Eugene.
Eugene, okay, yeah.
Eugene.
I always confuse them for some reason.
Yeah. So they are currently, in 2020, just distributed in the Northwest. Oregon, California, Washington, I think some in Idaho. InBev or Miller Coors has decided that they have grown enough and believe they are popular enough to be nationwide distributed starting 21.
Yeah.
So if you are looking to get a little taste of the Oregon Northwest beer scene,
14.6. You're right. Sorry, Sorry, someone corrected me. I had to make sure the record was straight.
Get that extra part in there.
14.6. There we go.
So you might find some Hop Valley beer in your local market. Personally, the reason I like this is actually there's one thing. Hop Valley, I personally don't think make that great of beers. But there's one beer. I think one thing to claim is I believe in Oregon, they have the best and cheapest for the price Imperial IPA. And
which one is that?
I think it's called Cryo Hop.
Oh, yes.
It is like, I think it's like almost 8%. I think it's 7.8.
Yeah. And
it comes in a 19.7 ounce can, which is a weird thin, tall can.
Right.
And it's like $2.25.
Yeah. No, it's a really good beer for the price.
Yeah, that's really all it is. It's a good beer for the price.
Yeah, I was thinking Cryo Stash, which is their freeze-dried hop IPA.
Cryo Stout. It's Cryo Stash.
Yeah.
You're right. It's Cryo Stash.
But so for those who don't know, one of their main calls to fame is their Stash series, which is their various IPA iterations. It's a lot of different combinations of hops, a lot of different ways of hopping the beer. And they're all, I will say, pretty darn good. You can actually get a Stash 12-pack, which is 4 different variations of their Stash beer. Yeah. There's Cryo Stash, there's Bubble Stash, there's...
the Mango and Stash.
Mango and Stash, yeah. And they're all pretty darn good.
Yeah, they're
for a
cheap.
West Coast IPA. Right.
Yeah, they're
cheap. And a 12-pack will run you like $14-15. It's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. It is one of those, like, honestly, when I go to a barbecue, I debate bringing either Hop Valley or Ninkasi. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, if I'm on a budget, I buy Hop Valley.
Right.
If I'm like, I got an extra like $3 or $4, I buy Ninkasi.
Yep.
And that's really what it is. I'll get the same ABV, and for the money, Hot Valley is a great deal.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping with the ramp up of this, they'll be able to still keep that price point nationwide.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that. And that's the only reason why I wanted to talk about it, is that there are people around here that there are beers now that they can say they're having, and we can be like, oh, that's in literally our backyard.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean that's another one that's going to be distributed nationally. I mean, you can talk about Deschutes, you can talk about Ninkasi, you can talk about Widmer, you can talk about, you know, all of the other beers that are literally in our backyard.
Yeah.
And
this brewery is not that old. It was founded in 2008.
Right. Right.
So it's 12 years old and is now 10 barrel too.
Yeah. 10 barrel. Yeah.
Is now nationwide distributed.
Yeah.
So it just shows that Oregon breweries are looked at and they're highly sought after.
Right. And for those who poo-poo the Molson Coors and the InBevs coming out and buying out these breweries, there are some breweries it makes a lot of sense for them to sell out to InBev so they get that national distribution. I mean, you're still talking business here.
Yeah.
We're not talking about, oh, I started it up so I could be a craft brewer. No, I started this bitch up so I can make money.
Yeah.
And
that's really what it is. Yeah.
Right. And I apologize for that. But, you know, everyone had a conniption when 10 Barrel sold out to InBev. But at the same time, Pray for Snow is now a nationwide distributed seasonal beer. And it's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And no one has any qualms about drinking good beer. And yes, InBev owns the majority of that company, but the company still retains a lot of their autonomy. They just need to produce enough to distribute nationwide.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to the tap room, they have special selections that are not within the store. But at the same time, too, even when they get that ramp up, the local consumer especially benefits because the price drop just shrinks.
Right.
You know, you used to have that $12 bomber. Now it's $7 because they've made so much of it locally, so they can they don't have to pay as much to ship it far. So I'm what's actually very funny too is the owner, one of the owners, there's 3 owners and startup companies for Hot Valley. One of them went to college and high school with my boss, and he knows him. And when he first started the business, my boss was like, that'll never work. Screw that. And I told him the other day, I was like, hey, he's just, his company's now nationally distributed. And he kind of like ho-hummed. Is that? Oh, yeah. But so we got one more bit of local news as well. And it's kind of tech security related. So one of the largest, or most, I shouldn't say largest, most sought after beers and breweries in Oregon is, well,
Great Notion.
These guys right here. Yeah.
Right.
Great Notion.
If you have a Great Notion beer, you can trade for almost anything you want.
Yeah.
It's literally having the golden ticket. If you get their short stack beer, you can have anything you want.
Anything. I mean, that is one of the most sought after stouts.
Right. I would pick a beer and they will ship you a case of it for 2 short stack Great Notions.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not like Goose Island, but it is like for the special IPAs and sours and jammy beers out there. You have 2 short stacks. You can get an 8-pack or a 12-pack of something, a variety, from someone else.
If I have 2 short stacks, I can trade for 2 Goose Islands.
Maybe I mean like 1, but
maybe one, right?
Maybe 1, yeah.
But they're in the conversation, and they go, okay, what do you got?
A lot of other Great Notion stuff, especially like, oh, this is only released once a year.
Right.
Well, Great Notion, and we talked about this a while ago too, is that Great Notion released their own app for their club, and they call it, I think it's like the Loggers Club, or not the Loggers Club, but the Timbers Club, because here in Oregon and Great Notion, they are huge Timbers fans.
Timbers Army. Yep. Represent.
And so they call it the Timber Beast.
Yeah.
and they actually released a beer called the Timber Beast. And it's kind of the highest tier subscribers get. They only make 50 bottles of this. That's how literally is a homebrew batch,
Right.
5 gallons, you know,
Right.
essentially. And so what they did, they promoted it out, and they said, we're going to give away 1 box. It's like 2 bottles, and it was a giveaway, 2 bottles and 2 specialty glassware, and, you know, like a velvety box and everything like that. Well, they went and posted it on their Instagram account. Said, did the whole, hey, tag your friends and you know, like this page and whatever. And you know, you're entered 3-4 times, whatever it is. Well, great notion. That's how popular it is there have been phishing scams just for this beer.
Yes.
Where accounts have been made so people can just go and say, oh, yeah, link to this. Here's another Great Notion one, and sign up here and like this. You won. Now click this button and you'll get an extra $100 Visa gift card if you just enter your email address and your phone number and your information and click send.
Yep.
And so I guess they found hundreds of these. Again, this is a box of 50 beers. That's how big of a pool Great Notion has had. Craft beer has. Even beer geeks get fished just for their information. So if you do see this, if you are a beer geek or in general, don't give out your information. I don't have to stress how, I mean, you're not that dumb if you're watching the show. Please don't be that dumb.
I hope you're not that dumb.
Yeah,
I like
really
to think I attract a fairly intelligent audience.
So
although YouTube comments lead me to lean the other way.
So don't give out information. If it sits there and says, sign up for this for an extra $100 Visa gift card by just giving your email address and phone number, name, and social security number, don't. Please don't. Even if it is for a Great Notion beer, which you could probably trade for like $300 to $400.
Right.
So, but that is all. Oh, and did you want to talk? We did not hit the last item, which was on the title of the video.
Yes, we need to talk about it.
So,
and that item is that Cyberpunk is live as of 4 p.m. Pacific time. Conveniently enough, just in time for me to get about 90 minutes of gameplay in before the show tonight. And I will be doing so immediately after the show and probably while on the after show. Again, if you want to join that, Patreon float plane down below. So the only reviews that I watched of Cyberpunk were non-spoiler reviews. I wanted to get a feel for how's the performance. Is it glitchy? Is it buggy? Is it not worth it? Because you can give me generalities and let me know whether or not I should plop $60 down. Now, 7 weeks ago-ish, I went ahead and plopped $60 down on Good Old Games just to support Good Old Games, which is a CD Projekt Red owned company. But I always love seeing DRM-free games, especially at launch, dropping on GOG.com. I also bought Rebel Galaxy Outlaw just today. It was a game that we actually saw at PAX 2 years ago. Is finally available on GOG after a year of exclusivity on Epic Games. I bought that because I support DRM-free launches. Even if I'll never play it, I bought it. Anyway, Cyberpunk, finally available. One of the most anticipated games for quite some time from the Witcher developers. I've played for about 90 minutes. Now, the reviews that I saw said that the first 8 hours of gameplay are a pretty slow burn. They build a story, they build an environment, they build a whole ecosystem that you're exploring, that you have full reign to go do whatever you want to do. What I can tell you without spoiling anything is you're literally dropped into the world and you get to live from there. So you get to choose in the very intro of the game from one of 3 starting places. And I think you all end up in the same place after a brief 20 or 30 minutes of gameplay kind of thing. But it's really funny because in the intro, I chose the corporate gig. And so I was a corporate yes man to an executive, and I was his like, go do the dirty work kind of thing. And on my way up and down the hallway to meet this executive, I had other people asking me a dozen different questions of, hey, we have Sanchez out in this area, and you know, he got security clearance, but I think they're feeding us false data. What do you think? And I said, well, what are the risks if we leave him there? And, well, there's nothing life-threatening there, but, you know, he's got a family, and he'll crack if they start pushing him. And you go, yeah, let's go ahead and pull him out of there. Well, what about Haskins? Let me deal with Haskins. I don't know who the hell Haskins is. I'm just making decisions that will probably impact my end game. But you know what? I'm already engaged. So I've heard it is a very slow burn, and thus far, it's a pretty slow burn. The combat is pretty intense. It is a lot of bullet sponge kind of things, where you're an augmented human, they're augmented humans, and augmented humans tend to be bullet sponges. And so I don't discredit the game in that way, but at the same time, when I see the headshot indication pop up 5 times in a row, because I'm a pretty decent shot, having played a lot of Counter-Strike Source, and then the guy is still at 3/4 health, I question my life choices. So there's that. Yeah, so I'm playing at hard difficulty, but it's so far very hard. I've died like 3 or 4 times, and I'm barely through the tutorial. So
maybe just play it on regular mode.
I might have to drop it down to normal. We'll see. Anyway, Cyberpunk 2077, fully available. And as Dunkel asked, is it already DRM free, and is it on Good Old Games? It is DRM free on Good Old Games. That's how I buy anything that is ever available from Good Old Games, because I want to support DRM free gaming. I want to prove to publishers that DRM free is still a viable money-making option. There's nothing more frustrating than, you know, always on DRM and everything that comes with that. And I'm the kind of person that puts my money where my mouth is. If you release something on Good Old Games and it's a game that I'm interested in, even remotely don't even want to play it, but I hear it was a good game, Horizon Zero Dawn. I dropped money for Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't know that I'll play it, but I want to support Sony in releasing a game that was a PlayStation exclusive as DRM free on Good Old Games. That's who I am. And maybe it'll make a good benchmark title someday. I don't know. I haven't even opened it, but I own it. So, yes, it is available on Good Old Games. That is how I would purchase it. That's how CD Projekt Red sees the most money, whereas Steam is taking their 20%. Epic Games is taking their 20% if it's even available on Epic. And if you buy it on console, then you're obviously, you know, paying 20, 30% to the console manufacturers as well for licensing. If a game is available DRM free, buy it DRM free. That's all I can say.
I would love, like, as you were saying, you're interacting with these characters. I would love for someone to eventually, and I know this will never happen, but come out with a Monkey Island type mod to where it's every response you give has to be an insult to that person of like, oh, I got to go take care of Jennings. Well, Jennings, you know, screw him. He can go screw himself.
Screw Jennings.
Yeah, screw Jennings.
Yeah.
You know, but the way LucasArts handled insults was so clever without insulting or being profanic.
Sam and Max is a gift to God.
Oh yeah, I mean the way they oh god, it's so great. But if they
the fourth wall breaks and Sam and Max are freaking amazing.
I know. If they made a serious graphic game similar to you know,
Full Throttle.
Yeah, Full Throttle.
Yeah.
And really
I'm not putting my lips on that.
But made it look like Cyberpunk.
Right.
You know, of that epicness of like, oh, this is so much fun. you know. I mean, even actually like Duke Nukem 3D had little bits of humor. Like you'd go to the bathroom and you'd hear him go, Oh, yeah, that's good. You know, I miss
I don't
that
have
a lot.
time to play with myself.
Yeah, exactly. You know, a little bit of lines here and there. I mean, I don't know if those are now considered Easter eggs, but man, I miss that little bit of thought process in some of the scripts of the games, of modern games. But maybe it's just me not playing enough modern games.
Right.
I don't know. But I don't see Keanu Reeves saying that line. Well, I mean, personally, I do see him saying that line. But
Oh, I
don't
could
think it-
totally see him saying
I
that.
totally see him saying that line, but I don't see him saying that line.
Holding the puppy while saying it?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't have time to play with myself.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Whoa.
Like, have a whole Matrix game, but have it be Bill talking.
Yeah. No, do a whole Matrix game, but do Bill and Ted.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Morpheus, would you take the blue pill or the red pill? Whoa.
I'll take both.
What would that do?
You go down and up the rabbit hole.
Scratch says, not sure, but Jeff's cheeks seem more rosy than before.
Actually, you know what? Now, the one thing I will say, Jeff, hey, no hiccups.
No hiccups. Well, I've been fighting them.
Oh, okay.
They're there.
We're almost done. 12 more minutes.
We're almost done. 12 more minutes to get through before the unencumbered hiccups start coming. Right.
Yes. So,
Skull says they have been for quite a while. 14.6 can sneak up on you. This didn't sneak up on me. This hit me right out of the gate. I've been feeling it for 30 minutes now. Like I said, this is about as loose as I've been on camera for quite some time. Remember, I started with an 8.5. It's not like we were going light.
That's right. Yeah. Because usually when you do that, you'll just like, I'm going to sip on this one for the whole show.
Right. Usually when I do a 14.6, it's I'm going to pour 14.6 and that's it.
I mean, you got so in retrospect, this is technically you having 3 beers in a 7.5, 2 7.5s and an 8.5.
Right.
So this is the same equivalency.
Yep. And usually if I do like an 8 or a 9, I follow it up with a 5 or a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go for another 8 or a 9 because this is where I land.
Demon.
If you take both pills, will you need to contact a doctor after 4 hours?
Only if it continues.
Only to brag about it.
Check it out. My blood pressure is still good.
If it's 6 hours, it may result in a gaseous discharge.
Oh, now that's Taco Bell.
Oh, can we go back to Star Trek, please?
I mean, we can if you want to. That's fine. Oh, it was Michael Dorm's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Worf.
Yeah, happy birthday.
From all of us here at Craft Computing, happy birthday, Worf. Real quick, back just on Cyberpunk, because I kind of want to talk a little bit more about this.
You went Star Trek.
There was a lot to be said about the performance requirements of Cyberpunk, that it was going to push a lot of PCs. I will say, having spent 90 minutes in the game on a 10850K with a 2070 Super, yes, it is going to push some PCs. So I do have ray tracing enabled. I also have DLSS enabled in ultra performance mode. And there are drops into the 20s, according to my naked eye. Maybe even the teens. Especially when we get indoors and there's a lot of characters to look at. So the game itself is insanely detailed. It is a beautiful experience. And if nothing more, buy it for that. Because, oh my gosh, it's a good looking game. But...
Okay, go ahead. Well, now consoles. I didn't buy the game, right. And my card couldn't even handle at the settings you're playing at.
Which one? The R9 270 or the Quadro K5000 that I sent you?
Tell them what I have.
Oh no! You bought a 960. That's right.
I was given a 9.
But please
Anyway.
continue.
Yeah, but console. So the only thing I've known of this is screenshots of consoles, and that not looking so great
Mhm.
comparative to the gameplay trailers that we were promised. And now, again, it got officially released today for PC.
Mhm.
I don't know what the gameplay looks like on PC, but
It's good.
Is any of that true though for consoles? The really bad.
I will say I haven't gotten to the graphics tweaking yet, and in fact, I'm investigating that for a video. I had a video idea of, do you need a next gen graphics card to play Cyberpunk? I mean, it's one of the most hyped and anticipated games in quite some time, and a lot of the talk behind it has been, holy crap, it's going to bring a lot of PCs to their knees. And at very, very high settings, yes, I can confirm it does bring some PCs to their knees. I mean, 1080p, 1080p 2070 Super, teens are not acceptable in certain scenes. Ray tracing or not, I don't care. But that being said, where are the compromises that I can make to make this a 60 fluid experience? And so I do want to play with that a little bit before I give judgment on it. But what I will say is this game is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Half-Life levels of beautiful.
Oh.
Like, think of Half-Life 2 in its day, how revolutionary that game was. It's gorgeous.
Okay.
You haven't played Half-Life Alyx, which is the VR experience.
Yeah, I have not.
But Half-Life Alyx levels of beautiful for like VR. Think of Red Dead Redemption and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
Levels of beautiful for gameplay. It's good. It's really, really good. So
now, do you think you need ray tracing on this one?
I haven't tried it without. I want to try it without before I give that judgment on it.
Okay.
And hold on, the clip from my microphone broke. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, this is supposed to have that spring release, so I can lift it. Yeah, one of the arms for it came completely out.
Yeah.
So it was just like dangling there, and my microphone was like slowly sliding down. It's a very beautiful game, and it's going to push your system no matter what system you have. If you have a 3090 and you've tried playing this at 1440p with ray tracing on Ultra and even with DLSS, it's gonna push it. It's gonna be iffy. This is a game that will probably like the first Crysis, and I'm not talking about the remastered. I'm not talking about Crysis 2 or 3. I'm talking about the first Crysis, where even at launch, you couldn't play the highest settings at the resolution of the day at 60 FPS. It wasn't possible. Now, Crysis ended up having a few problems with being very single-threaded dependent and a couple other things that went along with that. But I think this is going to be a long-standing benchmark title.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Well, yeah. This will be... I'm curious of the ray tracing aspect of it, because I know there's a lot of internal city, liquid, inside building, outside building, a lot of different lighting sources. Yep. I know that about this. Because I heard that this is supposed to be, this will show off a lot of ray tracing, maybe not to the extent of demos do, but still like, oh, you're supposed to see a notable difference.
I will say
on and off.
I haven't tried it with it off yet, so take this with a grain of salt. I will say the reflections and the ambient lighting are incredible.
Okay.
Just absolutely jaw-droppingly beautiful. And it's not something I really expected. Like, I expected to be like immersed in the environment. Like a lot of games, like Skyrim immerses you in the environment. Borderlands immerses you in the environment. I didn't quite expect that level of immersion, and it's totally there. And a lot of it Has to do with the lighting.
No, okay. I have to ask then, because those games are very big open world,
Right.
and you're doing a lot of stuff outdoors. Do you still feel that way indoors?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a plus.
Most of the environments that I've been in thus far, there's the hiccups, has been indoors. It's been giant towers with mirrored and tile floors. It's been sitting in a luxury cruiser sipping wine while surfing over the city. It's been things like that where the internal is gorgeous. The external, I feel the textures might be lacking a little in some points, especially like advertisements that are up. There are products they sell in the game that you can see advertisements for on billboards and whatnot. I think the textures could use a boost there. I really do. But that's about it. Like skin textures, human textures, you to me textures, gorgeous.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. I'd love to see that. Well, I am looking forward to seeing additional things on this game. We've waited long enough, that's for sure, on this game. What was it supposed to release early this year? Was it like March, April?
It was supposed to be a last Thanksgiving.
I mean, it was a long time ago. So this is what, the third pushback?
They had 3 pushbacks overall, I think, because it was supposed to be March, then it was supposed to be September, and then it was finally December.
Yeah, and then they pushed it back like, 4 more weeks.
Yeah.
5 more weeks.
Yeah. I honestly really wanted to see a tweet by them with like 10 minutes to go. This is, I'm so sorry, but I have to push it back another week. I so wanted that.
It's going to be 24 hours just to like piss everyone off.
I so wanted that tweet. And if they were aware of themselves, it would have gone.
Oh, I know.
You motherfucker. I do think Cyberpunk will be playable by a lot of different cards. I think I've already drawn my conclusion because remember, I'm playing ultra textures, ray tracing on, and I'm complaining about dips into the teens. I think it's going to be doable on like 1050 Ti's. Like, don't get me wrong in my assessment here.
So so with that, you think consoles will probably be able to look fine, playable fine, lower end PCs, maybe not the budget, but maybe the one step above a budget.
In the same way, Mass Effect looks great on a PC and on a console. It definitely looks better on a PC.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be that level kind of thing. And at its core, Cyberpunk is definitely an RPG first and a shooter second. Like don't expect Call of Duty. Expect what's a good parallel with this?
Or wouldn't it be more like Grand Theft and Call of Duty put together?
I hesitate to go Grand Theft. Although Grand Theft is gorgeous and Red Dead Redemption are gorgeous.
They're beautiful. Was the feeling games. I got out of it. Was like Grand Theft and Call of Duty put together.
I mean, you could go that way. I don't see any fault in that. I don't know that I would call it that. I would call it. I don't know what I would call it at this point. It's good.
Right?
It's good.
Okay. It's its own thing.
Yep.
So this might be the literally new benchmark.
I think it might be. So I need to spend a lot more time in it first. That's what I know.
Well, again, that's another float plane video. Mm-hmm. You could literally live stream yourself playing it and giving live critiques.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you want to see live critiques, that's probably what I'm going to be doing in the after show tonight on Discord. Spoilers or no spoilers, I'm freaking playing that game.
Don't talk to me right now. Don't talk to me right now.
I actually considered like, welcome to Talking Heads. I'm playing Cyberpunk. Talk amongst yourselves.
Well, you did that one time with Rhett. I think it was like last year. And you were like, hey guys, welcome to Talking Heads. We're watching the Blazers playoff game. Shut up.
Yep. I'll be with you in 30 minutes. But for right now, I'm occupied. Yeah, no, that was a little over a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, it was the old house
It
still.
was the old house still,
Yep.
and then it's funny. You've been in your house a year.
A year, actually, a year as of the 7th. So 2 days ago,
Yeah.
I had reminders on my Photos app that you and I were building my desk.
I got a reminder from of the video I posted of the Firestone Walker.
Oh yeah,
Manhattan.
yeah, the old
And
Manhattan.
That was like a day or two before you moved.
Yep, exactly.
And because I remember like, oh, Jeff moved right after that. And then like my next day memories were like, oh, I'm at Jeff's house.
Right. No, I started getting late last week notifications of like, here's memories you might remember, and it was like my house being painted like a week before we moved in, and it's like, oh right, that was this week, and we closed. I think we didn't close until the 10th, but I had keys on the 7th.
Yeah.
And so we paid a couple of days rent so we can get in early and start building things, because it's like, I need to get a studio space back up and running. And behind me is what I built for the studio space. And so I had a couple of videos for that. But it was like, I hit the ground running with like, this was the first room put together.
Oh, I remember we shot a commercial, and then that didn't work, and then so you had to have Rhett do it.
Right.
And you had to like we
I forgot about that.
Twice. The audio and lighting were like completely off.
They were horrible. Yeah.
And then you're like, hey,
Fractal
Rhett,
is paying for this. I can't send you out with like skipping every other word.
So then Rhett had to come in and like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It was like before Talking Heads because I show up late.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Oh man, like
Mm-hmm.
almost a year in your new place. It really,
It's been a year this week, right?
Feels like 3-4 months ago.
Right. No, we moved in on the 13th.
Yeah.
Is when we officially moved in and spent the night. So I remember that day. I remember moving. I remember
putting up your stupid. You sell those lamps?
Which yes, I do. And
okay.
They're beautiful. I love those lamps.
They were so flimsy.
They were such a pain in the ass, but man, did they look good.
Okay. They were such a pain in the butt.
Yep. So for those wondering, that's how much Bourbon County Stout I have left.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
Well, it is 10:04, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
We can call it. If you want, or we can take 5 minutes, whatever.
I could do a 5 minute. I could do 5 minute.
5 minutes,
So first off, Ren says, first time watching you live. It is 7 a.m. here in Switzerland. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for watching.
Greetings. Welcome to Talking Heads.
Your What's Weekly Live show for everything beer related and tech news.
You still can't get that right.
I know what I don't say. That was the first time I've ever said it.
You've been on 75 shows.
I don't say it. I can sit there and, hey guys, hey guys, I'm John. Welcome to Hops and Brews.
Right.
I say that, no problem. I never say yours line. I can sit there and tell you when you do it wrong.
Welcome to Talking Heads, your once weekly live show, the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff. He's John. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday night or on replay on Anchor FM or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If this is your first time watching the show, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, usually Star Trek. How far do you want me to go with that?
I don't say it. I say, hey guys, welcome to Hops and Brews. Today we're going to be trying Great Notions Frosty.
It was good. See you in the next video.
Yeah. And see you guys. Hey guys, thanks for liking this
video. It
video.
was pickle. I hated it. See you in the next video.
Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for liking this video. Remember to hit like and subscribe. Follow me on all my Instagram and social media stuff. The links will be at the very bottom of the description. While you're down there, go ahead and make sure to leave a comment or two. Tell me, what was your favorite Great Notion beer? Did you like this one? Have you tried that one? I don't know. Jeff doesn't even have any of them.
Ooh.
Just, I know you have some of them.
I do have some of them.
Yeah. But see, yeah, I can do that spiel because I've said it so many times.
Follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing and yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing to keep up with my daily shenanigans. And if you like the content you see on this channel and want to help support me in what I do, consider joining the Flipplane or Discord. Flipplane or Patreon. God dang it.
Float plane is the new one that's screwing you up.
It is. I had to add it in, and now
Yeah.
it's like
it doesn't flow as well.
it doesn't. On the Patreon or float plane, because I have to.
That might work.
I have to give it a pause. Yeah.
Yeah.
Links are down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server where we can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and take part in the ever-growing community over there.
That's not a bad place to end it.
You know, I don't think that's a bad place to end it. John loves dog beer.
Nope.
Are you sure?
Although there's one more coming.
Is this a YouTube off? It just became one. Hey, John, how many subs do you have?
Shut up.
Thank you so much for watching episode 161 of Talking Heads. I'm Jeff. He's John. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing. Follow him at Hops and Brews.
Hops and Brews.
Not Haps and Brews. Hops and Brews is where you'll actually find him. If you like the beer content on the show, he does a lot of things over there with that. And usually he has me as a guest host, and it gets even better.
Yes, I try to. This year's been a little lackluster, but we had lots of things planned, and they are still in the works.
Yes, I still have that whiskey sour beer.
And I'm still
over a year later. It's been aged now.
It's been aged now. Heathen now has a whiskey sour as well.
Ooh.
It is although it is a barrel aged cherry whiskey sour.
I'm on board.
So they just
you had me at whiskey.
Yeah, a friend of mine shot their commercial for it, so that's how I know they have it.
Nice.
So
anyway, thank you so much for watching this one. I think we gave all of our outros already, but make sure to like this video and subscribe to Craft Computing if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to Hops and Brews if you haven't done so already, especially if you like the beer content we have on this channel. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time right here on YouTube for the latest in beer and tech news. This has been Talking Heads Craft Computing. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, we will see you next week.
See you guys.
Cheers, everyone.